Gabriel Magalhaes injury scare addressed. There is an issue that most of you never really gave or paid a lot of attention to detail because of him not even hinting about it. But obviously the physiotherapy doctor of Brazil went ahead and obviously hinted about it, and that's when it came into the public eye. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the football show. Smash the like button close to 400 times, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We want to hit how many subscribers? Obviously we want to hit 18,000 subscribers before the end of this month, and let's continue to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel of ours. Now today we are talking Ansu Fati bringing the Champions League dream to Brighton, and we all know that Hans Flick was sacked from the job of the German national team manager, and we are going to let you know who is the new manager who has been named as the interim to take part into the remaining game they're going to play before we get back to the Premier League, Bundesliga, League One, and so on and so forth. So we thank God for the gift of life. It's a Monday and it's a refreshing one, though in my country it's really chilly, and obviously the weather is obviously trying to obviously not balance up a little bit, but because of the sun we've been getting the previous days, obviously the chillness is obviously welcomed hugely onto this country. And the Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barakallahu fikum, and may Allah help you throughout your endeavors. Now, last week Brazil played their first World Cup qualifier. Neymar was on target, Rodrigo was on target, but the biggest highlight or the biggest spotlight was all about Gabriel Magalhaes making his first debut for the Brazilian national team, and he was taken off towards the end of the game. Some people thought it was just a regular takeoff, but he had some little pain. He had some little muscle pull, and the doctor of Brazil, that is the physio director known as Dr. Rajapel Breba on Magalhaes said thigh issue for Arsenal centre back Gabriel Magalhaes, unsure if it's contact related or a muscle pull. Based on what multiple people have told me, sounds contact related. Overall good news. So he went ahead and confirmed to us that it's good news that Gabriel Magalhaes is not gonna obviously be out, and obviously this was confirmed yesterday on Sunday, as Gabriel Magalhaes trained with the Brazilian squad as normal in Lima on Sunday ahead of their latest qualifier against Peru on Tuesday, easing fears that he had sustained an injury. The news is a big boost for Arsenal, who have already been hit with injuries in the defense this season, as it really commenced. That is it, coming in from Simon Collins, is a correspondent of the Arsenal team at the Evening Standard, and went ahead and obviously put out that story of Gabriel Magalhaes. And I think Big Gabi was one of the contagious points at Arsenal, and very many people are asking themselves, why isn't Arteta playing Big Gabi into the games of Arsenal? Remember the game of Nottingham, he just came off the bench, and the game of Crystal Palace, he came off the bench, and the game of Fulham that they drew 2-2 at Emirates, he came off the bench. And big questions were, why is Arsenal not playing this man? And according to me, I think the transfer to Saudi Arabia was not the problem. I think at that age, when you're just gonna have to get your first Brazilian invitation to play there, just can't obviously disrupt your head. But after Militao, his fellow Brazilian centre-back who plays for Real Madrid really got an injury, and it's an ACL, and is going to be out for a very, very long time, was out. Real Madrid tried to contact him to obviously join Real Madrid, and that I think ate up his head. when it comes to Brazilian, South America players and Latino players, when teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid knock on the door and come in calling, they obviously lose their head. They obviously lose their head, and they will do anything to see to it that this player or the player of their caliber really leaves the team and obviously goes ahead to find where else to play the game of football, especially at Barcelona and Real Madrid, because their calls are always very, 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 very huge, and they obviously lead to them having discomfort in their brains. And if at all you're having a discomfort in your brain, that means you can't obviously play that big game of football. Now, that's why you saw to it that it was easy for Mikel Arteta to start Gabriel Magalhaes on the 3rd, because the transfer window had closed down on the 1st, and I think his mentality and mindset was really back for the big game, and you saw to it that he played very well against us, we who support Man United, and he obviously closed down that position very, very well. So good news, Gabriel Magalhaes is not injured. He just had a contact muscle slight injury, but he's gonna hit to train with the Brazilian national team as they prepare to take on Peru before he flies back to London as they're going to play Everton in Merseyside. That is it about Gabriel Magalhaes, and wait to see whether in the game of Peru he comes out an injury-free player at the moment, because as it stands, it's about him and his fitness, because Arsenal needs him. Though Arsenal really has very many players that can obviously come in through and do that job, I think Arteta can easily bring in Ben White and Saliba to play in the central defense, and Tomiyasu takes on the role of the right back as Zinchenko plays as the left back. He can also call for the services of Jakub Kiwior, who is really having a very, 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 very huge performance down the side of Poland. That is it coming in from the player known as Gabriel Magalhaes. So wait and see how that pans out, and whether he's going to obviously start his 2nd consecutive game for the team of Brazil. That is it. So let's leave that at that, and let's go to the man himself who has signed on loan at Brighton, Ansu Fati. You know, when I hear Ansu Fati say these words, it just shows you why De Zerbi really tried to sign him and obviously got him on loan. He said, I want to have a really great season at Brighton, fight for the team, try to qualify for Europe again like they did last year. If we can qualify for the Champions League, that would be even better. He added, that is Ansu Fati for you. You know, this is the beauty of getting in players whose winning mentality is way above the ordinary. This happened at Arsenal last season when they brought in Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, who went ahead to obviously elevate the targets of Arsenal from going back to the Champions League to competing for the trophy. That is it. And they almost clinched it, though Man City came in through in the last days and obviously closed it down. That is it for a man known as Ansu Fati. Now, because Ansu Fati comes in from Barcelona and their mentality is obviously winning the Champions League, the La Liga, and Copa del Rey, he is really one of those that is obviously instilling that winning mentality into the players of Brighton. And by the way, it might work out for them to obviously chase for the Champions League positions. Do you know why? Because they're having 2 avenues to qualify for the Champions League. The first avenue is they're in the UEFA Europa League, and if at all they happen to lift it, they'll be playing in the Champions League next season. And last season they finished 6th. Next season they are going to be taking 5 teams from the Premier League. Now, if at all a team finishes 5th this season, it would have gone ahead to qualify for the Champions League. So if Brighton fight and obviously be in the top 5 teams of the league, then they will see themselves in a position of really qualifying for the Champions League. So they're having 2 avenues, and he's talking about the Champions League qualification. Obviously that is going to be massive for them, but I think it's possible. Brighton can take on any team that is in the Europa League, knock them out and lift that tournament. I think that's the main reason as to why De Zerbi brought Ansu Fati in, to elevate the mentality of the players of Brighton, because them qualifying for the UEFA Europa League was a win for them. Even if they don't get out of the group stages, they thought it would be okay. But De Zerbi got to know that I need a catalyst. I need a player to come in through and obviously put in a shift that will obviously take us to the levels where we want to be as a team of Manchester United. Sorry, as a team of Arsenal. Sorry, as a team of Brighton. So let's wait and see whether Ansu Fati's dreams come to pass. But he's obviously at Brighton to obviously take the team to the next level. And the big question is, where is he going to be played? Because Mitoma is obviously firing in all cylinders, you know. Is it Gross? Is it Pascal Gross is also doing the needful onto the right, attacking side of the midfield? Through the center, it's compact. So wait and see how De Zerbi is obviously going to get this player into the team of Brighton. So that is it from Brighton, and let's seal it up with the news that all of you got yesterday, that Hans Flick was sacked. And this was confirmed around 15 hours yesterday, and it was confirmed by the German FA that Hans Flick has been fired. He's no longer Germany national team coach. Federation said to discuss internally on new manager as Germany will host Euros 2024 in 9 months. Rudi Völler will be on the bench as an interim coach. Now, after him being sacked, they went ahead and obviously announced that Rudi Völler, Hans Wolf, and Sandro Wagner will now take charge of the Germany national team for Tuesday's friendly against France. The aim is to find a replacement for Hans Flick as quickly as possible, and the DFB has gone ahead to confirm. Now, when you look at everything happening around Germany, it's obviously tearful. You know, when you look at their squad, the quality of players they have is really immense. You know, players like Joshua Kimmich, they're having Rudiger, they're having Musiala, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sen, Ika Gundogan. They're really having a vast talent, you know. But they've failed to obviously meet up to the expectations. By the way, for me, I first saw that team performance in the Euros, and I really felt that there is something declining, and that's when I think Joachim Löw really saw himself sacked. Then they brought in Hans Flick to take them to the World Cup, and they qualified and went to the World Cup, but the way they played the World Cup was really very, very bad and disappointing. And this is the second World Cup in a row where Germany is performing poorly, and them being the hosts of the Euros 2024 next year, that shows you that they need to obviously do something, you know, to see to it that they obviously compete and put this team together. So wait and see how they're going to obviously get in their new manager. But Rudi Völler is the interim manager of the German national team. So guys, your thoughts on to Gabriel Magalhaes injury scare are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Ansu Fati Champions League dreams? And obviously, who do you think is going to be the new permanent coach for Germany after Hans Flick was sacked yesterday? I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. And the Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. Ciao, ciao.